Hello. Welcome everybody to another episode of the RGB Strongest Realtor with Luciano Martinez. Thank you guys for being here. All right. Today our special guest, his name is Isaac Hernandez. He's a physician, AC. I hope I got the name right there. Let's go ahead and bring him onto the show. What's going on, Isaac? How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm doing great. Pleased to be here. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come on to your show, man.
No, man. Thank you for being out here, man. Can you hear me correctly, or can you hear me just fine?
Yeah, just fine. Everything looks good.
All right, baby. All right. So thank you, man, for being here. So I'm gonna make this. I always start off with the introduction of, hey, welcome to the Beyond Realty, the RGB Strongest Realtor. I was trying something new today. I didn't quite catch it or quite get it, but I want to have those badass intros where somebody kind of like makes that introduction. I don't have a band behind me just yet, but we will one day.
Oh, there you go.
Jimmy Fallon show.
Yeah, for sure.
Now I was trying something new right now. But yeah, welcome everybody. Luciano Martinez here with Remax Platinum. The podcast name is RGB Strongest Realtor, where we talk about real estate, finances, business, somebody, someone, somewhere, somehow, something important. And today we have Isaac Hernandez, owner of Precision Air. And so, Isaac, go ahead and introduce yourself real quickly for us.
Hey, guys. I'm Isaac Hernandez, owner of Precision Air Heating and Cooling. A little bit about my background. Went to La Jolla ISD, graduated back in 2008. Left town for a while. Just got back. Actually, we've been here for about 3 years. So yeah, man, I'm just excited to be back, getting in touch with everybody, and it's pretty cool to be back.
Nice, man. Nice. Where were you in Dallas?
Well, we were actually in Dallas. We were up there for where my wife was going to school. Just I was doing my daddy duties back then. Stay home dad for a while, for about, I want to say about 6 years. While she was going through that school program she was doing, and she got it. She finished. Now she's doing way better now. So I mean, that's always good. Yeah, once we came back, was then I started doing my thing. That's when I got my license and got everything going and got the ball rolling.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. So how long you been the owner of Precision Air?
Going on, this is our 4th year. Yes, sir.
Fourth year
in business. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Kind of a bit about the background. It's funny. I was actually doing oil field work for a while there, right?
Okay.
Climbed up the ladder. Started off as a rig hand, and the position for a safety came up, so I took it. Did that for about 3 years, and then back in I think I want to say it was 2013, 14, around there. It wasn't a big clash like the 2008 when the oil field kind of went down bad. This one wasn't too bad, but it's still, we had a little recession like that in the oil field, so got laid off. The funny thing is I get a call from the workforce, and they're like, "Hey, you qualify for school. We can get you through any training you would like from this program, or blah blah blah." And so I get the list. It was plumbing, electrical, HVAC, mechanic. They were all the classes STC offers, and I was like, man, you know what? I wouldn't mind HVAC. That's not something I've never done. Electrical, I was kind of familiar with.
Right.
But then I was like, you know what? Let's do HVAC. That sounds very interesting. Did not know what I was getting myself into.
No.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of the theories and stuff. It has a lot of formulas, and it's pretty much like engineering at a technical level. It's not too complicated, but it's still a lot of formulas and
engineering in the sense that like it's
mechanical
to just HVAC though, right?
Yeah, just on the HVAC.
Because you still got all those formulas too. So
Yeah.
I would say you las math classes, right?
Algo, yeah. I wish I would have paid more attention though, but yeah.
Because I mean, look, as a former math teacher, dude, I mean, I always think to myself, like, I always ask myself, aside from teaching the math in math classes, I don't actually use the math out here.
Right.
I'm sure there are fields out there, like engineers, your HVAC tech there. But me personally, aside from teaching it, I haven't found any any real use other than just problem solving. You know, I'm a problem solver, through it all. Real quick, Isaac. So you're obviously from La Jolla. Somos de La Jolla, toda raza. Yo, chile, tomate, cebolla, nadie le gana La Jolla. Let's go, baby. So you get an opportunity to become an HVAC guy, and you go through the school. How long did it take you to get through the schooling?
It was a 2 year and a half for a certification program.
Okay,
about 3 years almost. You know,
and do you have to work under somebody while you're doing that, or how does that work?
Yeah, so right after I graduate, this is just a certificate. It's just they kind of teach you the basic stuff. So when you go work out there, you kind of know, you're familiar with the parts and the operation of the system, how it operates. So the more you understand on how a system operates, the better the easier it'll get. So they kind of teach you the basics just so you don't look pretty bad when you go out there, for your first job. And but yeah, I mean, as soon as we did that, I worked under for about 5 years. I still talk to my ex-boss till this day. He's been like my mentor and I mean, just guiding me. I call him sensei because he joke around about ninjas and stuff, and I call him sensei all the time because yeah, I mean, he still helps me out. I mean, sometimes I still have to give him a call once in a while just to kind of like, hey, if I have a little bit of doubt on something, just clear my problem,
Yeah.
But yeah, he's pretty cool. Shout out to Edgar from RGV Extreme Air. He's pretty cool. If you ever need anything from him, I mean, he's a real straight shooter guy. Love him to death. Super cool, super friendly, super cool guy to do business with as well. And another one of my mentors, Emmett from oh man, he's gonna kill me. Quality Air. There you go. He was a big influence in my life as well. He's the one that actually signed for me to get my license and start the process on taking the state exam and stuff like that.
Okay, so there is a state exam. Yeah. And that's the question I was about to ask you. Like, okay, so somebody who's aspiring to be, their own HVAC guy, their own HVAC technician, somebody who wants to start a business like you did yourself, somebody's got to sign off on that then.
Yeah. So you have to work about 5,000 hours, and that's kind of the experience thing that the state requires. So once you complete those 5,000 hours, vamos a decir como Mr. Emmett, I print out the application and he is my like handler, I would say, or the guy backing you up, saying you did do those hours, and and he does recommend you. It's kind of a little letter he has to send out there. And oh wait, what happened?
I hear you.
Oh, can you see me? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It's because I pressed something on my. Se quitó todo.
You're fine, dude. You're fine.
Yeah, so he signed. It took a while, and then they give you. Once you get approved, they give you a testing date, and then just go and take your test, and everything's history from there.
How many questions you got on your test,
dude? It's a crazy test. I took it twice. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I took it twice.
Hey, bro, that day. Hey.
The first time,
Taylor's way. Hey, I fucking took my fucking license test for real estate. I took it. So the national part was easy, but the state part for me was very difficult. So I took that 2 times before the third time. The third time was a charm, man.
Oh wow!
I told my broker John all the time. I knew the material. I don't remember how many questions there was, but the first 2 times I'm taking this test, I failed the state portion. The national portion had all the math behind it, right? But the state one had all these rules and laws and
right.
theory, and I failed it because I'm not very good with memorizing that stuff. The math part was easy, but
right.
Let me tell you this, man. The third time around, I decided to buckle down and study. And dude, I walked in. 20 minutes, fuck shit up. Let's go. I'm out.
Oh, yeah, bro. Mic drop.
But the first 2 times, man, I was sitting there for over an hour and a half trying to get my the test done, and I couldn't, man. I couldn't.
Yeah. No, the first time I walked into it, I couldn't sleep the night before. I was just so worried. I drank like 1 million gallons of coffee. It seemed like So I show up, and you have a computer, right, and you have a camera right in front of you. And it was an open book test, but there were 7 books you kind of had to go through. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard. Like, oh, where was this? And like, oh, where's that? Because we got law. We have, for some reason, boilers. We still take care of boilers. They fall under our industry. range hoods, CFMs, all these laws, and then you got your state laws and all this like uh, judicial and the codes, all these different codes and stuff. You have
The city codes.
Yeah. So they have a camera and they're looking at you, so you're not cheating or whatever. And man, that girl, when I got out, she's like, "Are you okay, sir?" He was like, "Not really." I thought you were gonna tear your beard off because I was doing this right here. Like I was so desperate that I was just grabbing onto my beard. Super nervous. So I was like, man, no, I felt bad. But second time got it, studied a little harder and just got done with it.
Qué bueno, bro. Qué bueno. So as people are watching us, we're estamos talking a little bit about Isaac's journey as a I was gonna say as a real estate agent, but Isaac's journey as as an owner of Precision Air Heating and Cooling. If you have any questions along the show, go ahead and drop your questions, your comments. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Isaac can help you out with any questions you might have about AC. I know the summer's pooling around, and Isaac, yes. I always call you, man. Like I know it's stupid little issues here and there, and I for one, I always call you when I'm working as a real estate agent. When I have a buyer or a seller that needs an AC tech, I always give you a call. I go, hey, I have questions. You come out and do whatever you got to do with the inspection of the ACs. So I do that quite often. I call my boy Isaac here from time to time. I go, hey, Isaac, what's the situation, whatnot? Come check this out. He's come out with a couple of inspections, and I appreciate you very much for that, man. Can't thank you enough.
No, that's what we're here for, man.
But with the summer rolling in, man, what advice can you give homeowners in regards to maintenance, taking care of the AC systems, their ducts in the attic? I'll tell you right now, I think you and I have spoken about my ducts in my attic, where I'm starting to see like little holes in the actual duct work and whatnot. So, talk to us a little bit about that. What your recommendations for maintenance are, your recommendations for your duct work, your recommendations for your AC compressor, and tell me real quick, what's the most common defect that you see in ACs when the summer comes around?
Oh man, where to start? There's so many. One of the big major things that I like to tell my clients, and it's the most simplest thing you can do, but it can save you so much on saving money is just watering down your condenser system from time to time, especially in the summer times, And if you live out by an open field or somewhere where there's a lot of dirt or it all depends. If you have a lot of leaves and stuff, all that clogs up your coil and it makes it run hotter. So what happens more like the more hotter it runs, the hotter the compressor runs, the more amperage it draws. Thus wasting more electricity,
So let's talk right there real quickly. What do you mean by watering down?
Well, you just take your hose. You can just water it from the outside in. It's not recommended, but it helps out a lot. The proper way is taking off the top, going in there and washing it, rinsing it from the inside out. You know what I'm saying? But it also can be done through the outside, just to help it out, at least till you get a professional out there just to.
I was about to. Is that something that me, myself, and I can do, or is that something that?
Oh yeah. That's something anybody can do. Just go up to it, as long as it's not like a pressure washer, okay, or like a gun that's gonna like bend your fins. Uh-huh. You're good. Just kind of rinse it off. Make sure you get all that dirt off, just to allow that airflow to go through it and cool the coil. The way it should.
And that's the compressor outside, right?
That's on the unit outside. Yeah.
How often should that be done?
At least every 3 months. I recommend if sometimes you're out there watering your plants, or if you have grass out there or something, just give it a spray of water. Another big thing too that I see a lot is leaks coming from the outside. Is people have irrigation, right? And the sprinklers end up hitting that unit, and there's some chlorine in the water. So you'll notice sometimes that the coils on the bottom, where they're getting hit by that sprinkler system, they start to rot out. It starts eating up the aluminum little by little, and then you're starting to develop leaks, and all the other problems come through that.
Like freon leaks?
Yeah, freon leaks. Yeah. So it starts corroding the coil, and those things are under a lot of pressure. anywhere from 325 to 400 psi, that are running through those high side,
Yeah,
lines and stuff. So I mean, it doesn't take much to develop a leak.
I feel that.
On the inside system, changing your filters, I mean, monthly is a big thing, especially because the 1 inch filters, these systems are not really designed for 1 inch filters. If you can get like what is it, the 6 inch filters, those you change them out once a year, and it has enough surface area to allow the unit to breathe. So if you're using all these pleated allergy, low micron filters, you're just
Right.
clogging up your system. And if you have a smart system where you have ECM motors that are designed to ramp up or slow down as it's coming to a cool stage, you're creating the pressure in that unit, and it's slowing it down or making it run backwards sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So because it's so clogged up.
So let's
Or
back up a little bit. So, for example, I'm assuming I have a 1 inch system or a 1 inch filter. Where do I get a 6 inch filter? Or
those is something we install. You won't find it at Home Depot or nothing like that. You have to go straightly through a supply house. But it comes with a nice filter base, and it's way simpler than changing out that little one. It's just open the door, pull that big one out, put the new one in, and that's it. You ain't got to mess with the pulling it down. It's through the attic as well.
okay.
But if you have a good PM programming set in your technician should be able to take care of that for you. And like I said, there's enough surface area there to carry out through the whole year, and you'll just change it, when you do your PM.
What's the PM?
Your preventive maintenance.
Preventative maintenance. I was
Yeah,
like, man,
yeah,
you're throwing some words out here, man. I don't know what you mean.
yeah.
And so you would recommend, is that much more expensive to take care of with a 6 inch filter than it is a 1 inch filter? Because 1 inch filter, the ones that I go get, they're costly, $20, $30. Is it more expensive to go get a 6 inch filter? Does it save you more money in the long run?
It does save you a lot more money on the long run, because I think the last one I bought was about $60 some, $50 some, something like that. But it's only once a year.
Okay.
And if you think about it, if you buy the 3-pack or the 2-pack or just the one filter, that's already $20. And then if you buy 3 or 4, well, you're already up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it is a big savings.
Man, look into that. So
Yeah.
so you would come, a technician, you would come into the house and you would install that up in the attic.
Yeah. Or if it's in the closet, it goes underneath we would have to lift the machine up and just get space, to put the filter in there. That's another big thing. Now, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I've seen people where they have the machine itself has where you can fit a 1 inch filter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then they have the door, right? But they only put the filter on the door, and underneath the door it's open. It's not closed correctly with the sweep. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So what's happening is you don't put a filter underneath your machine. The one on the door is pointless because it's sucking everything through under the door, and it's going straight up into your coil, getting it dirty. So the one that's on the door is really not doing anything. So it's always, if you have both ones, I always recommend go with the one that goes under the unit. You know what I'm saying, and not the one on the door, because if your installer didn't put that cover on the bottom, or sweep, door sweep, then it's kind of just pointless that you're putting a filter on the door.
Yeah. So we talked about three main things that so far. The watering down of the compressor outside every 3 months. Again, not high pressure, just a quick rinse.
Yeah.
We do got a comment from Ms. Lori Ann. Congratulations to your wife for getting on the school board.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, she was chosen by the TEA on that. Yeah, and hopefully they can get some good stuff going to the district, man. I know they need it. A lot of people were relieved.
I tell people that I'm quite happy, and I won't get into it all, but I'm quite happy that there are going to be incoming changes to the district. I'm being from La Jolla as a student, former teacher there. I'm excited for what changes that are going to be coming in this direction. But going back to we talked about the watering down every 3 months, just a quick rinse. Watch out with the sprinklers, delivering water to the compressor. because they do rust the units. We talked about the 6-inch filters versus the 1-inch filter, and that
Right.
preferred done
Yeah,
with
yeah, that's
like
highly recommended. And this is all information you can find online as well.
a comment here
Tell
says.
us-
So if it were up to me, I'd have it at 65, man.
Dude, honestly, bro, I'm the same way. But the wife is like, she's like, I need you to put one of those plastic things so you don't adjust the thermostat. Yeah, because
exactly con la llavita.
yeah,
Man,
she won't let me go below 76, man. And sometimes I'm like,
they don't let you go below 76. I gotta,
yeah,
I gotta be
no.
at
They're
70.
always cold.
Mine's gonna be at 70, dude. So the way I do it, and I have a program. Throughout the day, I don't care if I'm sweating or not, but at night I gotta sleep cold.
Right, that's me.
I have it at 70, and it's cold. We got the fans going. I give her a little bit of leeway on that. I let her take it down to the second speed or something like that. But if it were up to me, I'd have it in the fastest speed with the AC blowing down.
Dude, I got the AC going. I got the ceiling fan going, and I got a fan blowing in my face right here from the nightstand too.
And that's coming from the AC tech,
yeah. I think the ideal temperature is about 68 degrees. It'd be perfect.
Para dormir bien, bro. That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
And then,
y luego con un San Marcos bien.
Dice que por eso necesitamos filtros. But yeah, so así duermo con madre, it's nice and cool on the outside, no te tapas bien.
Somos unos Teddy Bears, corremos hot, man.
Yeah, so again, going back to 6-inch filters, preferably with a technician. What other issues do you see on common issues? And I'll tell you one that I believe is a pretty common issue that most of the times that I've talked to you is an issue. Correct me if I'm wrong. What's your take on the capacitors?
Well, that's what I was trying to get back to when I mentioned cleaning out the coils. So like I mentioned, more amperage means more power, right? So that's demanding more from your capacitor as well. There's a saying in our industry that once summer comes up, after spring break, we kind of classify it as capacitor season.
Okay.
And it's an actual thing. I mean, sadly, but if people were to give the maintenance that their units need, it wouldn't be such a big deal. It's such a big deal that supply houses start ordering a lot more capacitors than they're used to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because so once if you were to keep it low, keep it clean, keep your coil clean, and all that stuff, there wouldn't be an ampage spike. So your capacitor life would extend, if that makes sense, because it's not demanding so much draw from it. So I mean, your capacitors would last a lot longer. Just by cleaning the coil outside, per se.
So Isaac, let's pivot a little bit, because I talk to you. I always ask you questions, which, by the way, we'll talk a little bit about this. Is you provide service agreements, or you provide contractual agreements or contractual work for the year? Or how does that work for you?
Yeah, well, I'm actually I had a real basic contract, and that's one of the things we're refining now as I see more and more and talk to people and more customers out there. I'm kind of noticing that the contract I was offering really wasn't like up to par, or it was kind of missing some stuff. So I'm actually working on a gold, bronze, and silver package. So giving 3 options for the year, different things, different little perks here and there, which I think is going to be a pretty cool thing. That I mean, I'm hoping to have done here by the end of March.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start. That's when I'm gonna start releasing all those packages. Right now, we're still trying to work out some of the kinks, my team and I, and we're just excited, man. I think it's gonna be pretty cool because there's 3 different tiers, so there's a budget for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring this up is because I like to share an experience, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that's in this experience. I got a brand new AC 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Brand new AC. Obviously, they provide you your warranty. I got it from a company whose names I won't disclose because I don't want to say names. But I got it from a company, brand new AC. great company. I'm not giving any backlash. But what I'm trying to say is this. Um, and I talked to you about it. We had I had them come out. They serviced my AC and whatnot, and they said that there was going to be an upcoming issue with the capacitor. The capacitor was okay at the time. They even went up to my attic and they say, "Hey, you have a bunch of your ductwork is probably starting to need some replacement. We can probably just put a band-aid on it for now." Um, how would you guys differ? So, in talking to about the capacitor, this company wanted to quote me almost $1,000 for the capacitor and God knows what other thing. Is that really the pricing for that? I mean, how come it's so expensive with this particular company?
Well, see, that's one of the things that a lot of people. I know the guys has helped out so much. Oh, thank you so much, Lori. Yeah, I've done some work for Lori and Caesar up in there in Brownsville. Cool people. Yeah, dude. So when you go with major companies, and it's not that I want to sound bad or anything, but they have a payroll they got to meet. You know what I'm saying? They have so many employees, and they have to meet a quota to pay their employees, to pay this, to pay that, and that's one of the reasons that I'm working on this new service plan is to eliminate some of this stuff, because okay, $1,000 is a lot for just a capacitor and something like that. But como te digo, I don't blame them. At the end of the day, they got to meet their payroll, their numbers, and but it is taking advantage of a lot of people. Y el que no sabe, information is the best friend you can have. The more informed you are, the less people like this can get away with stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So capacitors, they are pricey, not $1,000 or so, but that's where they kind of get you. They kind of give you this it'll only be $100 for the year for your warranty program or whatever, or your PM, but then it comes down to we recommend this, recommend that. But that's where they kind of sneak in the prices, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to quickly talk, mention it out there.
Yeah.
Is that you want to do your PM, your preventative maintenance. Pero pues, I mean, I honestly, for me, it didn't make sense to mathematically pay that much amount of money for something that in talking to you. Right. Is not that of an expensive of a thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I just kind of wanted to bring that up so the people that are
I mean, the more knowledgeable you are about your HVAC, and that's one of the things we try to do as a company, is go out there and not just tell you what the issue is, but kind of explain how the system works in order for you to understand why is it, like the capacitor. If you have a clogged condenser coil and stuff like that, everything's running hotter, it's pulling more energy. So just because the capacitor doesn't, like, I know guys that'll go out there, change your capacitor, charge you and get out, but like what made that capacitor go out? That's how real technicians are supposed to think, not just like, oh, this is your problem. Oh yeah, well, what caused that problem to go out in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of mindset that you want to have, and by giving the knowledge and showing people how their AC system works and stuff. And always, guys, go for second opinions, because I mean, especially with your inspections, I've seen some guys that are just trying to sell you a new unit, just get it out of the way. I mean, like I said, they got payroll to meet, and I mean, that's fine, but it's just always get a second opinion, because I've seen so many things where the inspector, like y'all hire inspectors and stuff, and they say, oh, the AC is not cooling. Well, it's 105 degrees outside. You turned it on. It's been running for 20 minutes. Of course, it's not going to cool down. You know what I'm saying?
So can let me piggyback off of that. So what I think is saying here, guys, for anybody still listening, what I think is saying here is a lot of times when us real estate agents, we hire out home inspectors to go check out the home, not just the AC unit, but a home inspector is not an HVAC technician. We'll just point that out real quickly. So a lot of times what a home inspector will say, hey, correct me if I'm wrong, Isaac, there's a cooling differential between the air return and what's being coming out. Right?
So you want about 13 to 16 degree temperature difference.
And so these the home inspectors will know that there's a difference there. or they'll know, XYZ thing. They're not HVAC technicians, so they're gonna say, "Hey, we recommend further evaluation from an HVAC technician." And so then now you bring in your HVAC technician, which is somebody like Isaac, right? So that's. I just wanted to make that quick point because it happens a lot, especially here in Texas. You have all these. Me, for example, I want to have it at 70 degrees, and Isaac's told me before, you cannot have your AC at 70 degrees when it's 115 outside. Your air conditioning is never going to stop working. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah, no, and it is very doable. But your system has to be so finely tuned to reach those things. And one of the major things now, from I want to say like 2020 over here to the present, I think companies have gotten a lot better with their ductwork. You know what I'm saying? Because anything from the 90s, early 2000s, hold on, dude. I'm sorry. I got a client calling me like for the 5th time. Let me just let them know. Yeah.
Podcast, bro.
Yeah. Man, and it's like people know when, my phone can go without ringing for a couple hours, or I'm not doing anything. And, as soon as I start doing something, it's just like off the chain. So going back, oh man, I lost my train of thought.
The ductwork from the 90s.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the ductwork, a lot of it wasn't really designed properly, if that makes sense. Now I'm glad the cities are enforcing a lot the manual J's and all this stuff. Those are things that are designed to give you your certain CFMs per room and ensure that there are no hotspots in your room and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's getting a lot better now. But if your house was built in the 90s, for sure, you're not gonna, you're not gonna get those ACs that are down to 70s or something like that. Crazy.
At night I can.
Yeah, at night for sure. But one of the major things también was not with the it happened to a customer of mine last week. We installed a motor for her, I want to say 3-4 years ago, and it was one of those X13 motors, which are smart motors. They ramp up, ramp down, depending on how much it's more to satisfy and stuff like that. Well, her motor went out again, and then she was like, "Well, it's new, what's going on?" And then I explained to her that the ductwork they did for her was off. It wasn't designed correctly. So by the ductwork not being designed correctly, you build such a big static pressure in there that it burns out the motor. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of air bouncing back to the motor, giving it resistance, therefore making it work harder and burning out those motors like bad. Like it only took 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
And so burning out the motors, you're talking about burning out the capacitor? You're talking about
those X13 motors or the I can't remember the name. Those don't use capacitors. I mean, they do, but they're like computer capacitors. They're inside on a circuit board.
Okay.
They have like a little computer. So now everything runs off of 24 volts and stuff like that. They still have 220, but the controller is 24 volts in there. The little computer, you can change they're called modules. You can change them out, but it's very rare now. Now they'll sell you the whole thing, the whole motor instead of just a module. Yeah. But yeah, dude, it's just bad duct design is a leading cause of hot rooms. It's a bunch of, if your duct ain't right, it's going to be very hard on your system as well. So it doesn't allow, like, I don't recommend, because a lot of people, they're like, oh, okay, I want a high efficient unit, or like, okay, well, if you want that, we're going to have to go out and not just switch out your unit for a change out. It's going to be your duct as well. It's going to be a whole new, like if it was new construction.
Well, I was about to ask you that question. Is like, so not you obviously know that I changed out my unit about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
My house was built in 96. I'm pretty sure the AC system was the original system when I bought the house.
Okay.
You would say
it was a ream, right?
Huh?
It was a ream you had?
I no sé, bro.
No te acuerdas.
Pues tú lo levantaste, güey. Tú lo levantaste. I had it back there. But I don't remember so the compressor was good. I just don't know the I think that the inside unit was the one that was going bad. But so I
Okay.
switched out the unit. You were saying now it's a good time to start looking into maybe getting some duct work.
Yeah.
You probably have more yes and no because I already told you that I have I
Right.
have,
Right.
to have holes on the duct work. I went up there the other day to check on a rata que se había muerto, and man,
Oh,
that
those are
rata
the
did
worst.
some damage, bro.
Yeah.
That motherfucker, that rat was like about this big.
Damn.
Chingona la pinche rata. Ya está muerta. We couldn't find it. The house stunk up for a while, pero it did some damage. At least there where you go up in the attic immediately where it's at. There's a lot of eaten up duct, and
Okay.
I think the company that came in to kind of like check it out and whatnot just kind of put that aluminum tape real quickly and you
Yeah.
know called it a day. Hey, you need some new duct work, and I think I do. But with that being said, next question I gotta ask you is duct work first or foam insulation first?
Well, see, now I'm glad you brought that up because, okay, so let's say, what size is your unit? I can't really remember.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't be able to tell
Let's
you.
say 4 ton, maybe. I think. Anyway,
Five, five.
whatever it is. So right now you have blown insulation.
See, I have blown insulation.
Okay, so blown insulation. There's a certain they call it a closed envelope. I'm sure you're familiar with it from your inspections. No, never heard like the tightness of a house, how much it breathes or not. Or,
Mm.
never heard. Okay, so it's called an envelope. So let's say your system was designed. Uh, let's say it was a 4 ton. It was
Okay.
designed everything to handle a 4 ton and stuff. So now you're gonna go and insulate your attic with foam. So there is a pretty high risk that you're gonna run. You have too big of a unit, so it's gonna short cycle because it's gonna cool the house faster and not remove a lot of the humidity from the house. And then that's when the problems start coming up. Then you start getting mildew growing here and there in the closets and stuff like that, the bathrooms, because the envelope of the house is so close. There's no heat going into the attic, and I mean, it's a great benefit. Don't get me wrong, but there is a possibility that some of the units are going to be oversized for what the house. Because now, when you have your foam insulation, only if you have a 4 ton, you could get away with a 3 ton. Let's say, just off the top of the head, maybe 3.5 or something. But you can actually downgrade your system to help with the moisture problem. Because if it starts short cycling, then that's something. I mean, you could always go maybe put it on low speed or something else. I mean, just to take it a little bit longer and to stay on a little longer. You know what I'm saying? But it all depends. Every situation is different. But yeah, like if you have an old system, I would say put on the foam first and then switch out your system. And that way, somebody comes and does another manual J. Always do a manual J. I can't stress that enough.
So
Even though you're
what is the manual J?
So the manual J, what it is you take, okay, let's say you get the plano for your house, and then you have windows face. How many windows do you have facing east, west, south? What is the R value for the house? What is it made out of? What R value do your windows have? Your attic, how high is it? What insulation does your attic use? And all that is calculated into to see what tonnage of system you need. Like a lot of the houses, I've seen a major problem with the houses that are on blocks, the prefabbed homes.
Sí.
So a lot of people, they're like, oh, okay, it's they go by square footage. Which is not, yeah, it works, but it's not the right way to do it. It's like, oh, 2,000 square feet, oh, pues ponle un 13 medio or whatever. But yeah, but then you got heat. What does heat do? Heat rises. So you have a whole cavity underneath that house of hot air trying to get up through the floor and then into your attic. So instead of that unit being a 3.5, now, I mean, you should jump it at least half a ton, if not a whole ton more, to combat that heat coming in from the bottom and rising up into your house. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things, and that's what a manual J, it gives peace of mind and knows it tells the homeowner that it was calculated right, and that it knows that the duct system is done correctly for their home, and it eliminates all the hot rooms and all this stuff from from whatever hot rooms you have in the house and stuff like that. Because
So,
I know that's a big problem. Hot rooms is a big problem out here for sure.
oh, Mose, so me and my wife said that the primary bedroom is probably the hottest room, especially in the mornings and
Hmm.
especially in the evenings. Why? My best guess, because it's not even it's a south facing room. It's not even east or west. It's just a south facing room. It sits between one bedroom and the shower or the restroom. So the wall to the exterior, but I, I think for me, the reasoning behind it is probably the duct work. Yeah, I go back to so let me ask you a question moving forward as a homeowner myself, moving forward. Obviously I'm thinking I've talked to you about installing foam and installing new duct work. Obviously, you're talking about maybe going with the foam first. I already have a new AC system. Should I have a combination of these different people all at once? Should I have like the foam installation guy and the ductwork installation person and the AC guy all at once?
Well, your duct work should be your AC guy. Your AC guy should be the one doing the duct
Okay.
work for you. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, it never hurts to have two great minds because I mean, well, three. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, as a business, well, not a business owner, but as a HVAC guy, I would love to get all the information. Like, hey, what are your R values? What is going to be the R value of the material you're using? Because not everybody uses the same material. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
it's always great. I mean, have a chit chat. Okay, so cuánto te vas a tardar? Or is it better if I remove all the duct work so it's not in the way for you, so you can walk around freely? And you come up with such a good plan when you sit down and talk to other people like that. You know what I'm saying?
So it would
And
be ideal to have you, for example, along with the installation guy.
yeah, and then we can talk it out and see, what can we do to help each other get the process done faster, and then
Mhm.
that means because I mean, if you're gonna do that and we're gonna get rid of the ducts, let's say, so you'll be without AC for what, a day or two, or you know what I'm saying? So we don't want that. So yeah. So I mean, there's some solutions we can come up with, but yeah, I would love to talk to an installation guy.
The installation guy just to know what's up. Hey man, this is the plan. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
moving forward, Isaac. You mentioned the word business owner or as the owner. Let's talk a little bit. What it is like being your own boss, being your own business owner. How's that? Where do you do your lead gen? How do you provide? Where does how does Isaac run his business?
Well, that is a very good question because once you become a business owner, and I'm sure you're aware of this as well, you wear a lot of different hats. Now you're your accountant, your bookkeeper. You're not just the guy solving the problem anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a big hassle, especially for me. I was super excited. I was saying like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and I can't wait to do this, and I can't wait to do that. And then I was like, oh, well, now you got to pay taxes, personal taxes and business taxes, and then now you got to keep receipts over here, and then you got to. It's just like, man, I'm organized, but I'm not that organized sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's just, or sometimes you just slips your mind, and it's just crazy. It's something I've never expected. Everybody's like, oh, I want to be a business owner. I want to, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Everybody wants to be a business owner, but it's not till you get there and experience it for yourself. It is a little challenging. It's not impossible at
Right.
all, right? But it is. It does come with its bad days, good days. I mean, I love the freedom, honestly. I mean, I get to go wherever I want and set my own schedule, and I mean those are nice perks. You get to travel last month. I mean, last summer took a whole month off. Went on vacation with the family, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those are some of the big perks that come with it.
You talk about freedom, and that's something that me and my wife have been talking about lately because as a business owner, you just said it, you hit your own, you make your own schedule, and actually, I took a class today. Matter of fact, took a class today where it was with Remax, and Agent 101, things you should know, and how you should run your business, and that tomorrow's the second part of this class. And I'm a 3-year vet, for 3.5-year vet, and I took this class because I wanted to know a little bit more. But you said something, freedom, and
Yeah,
I've been debating this with my wife the last, I want to say, 5 months, 6 months. Like, should I go back into teaching? Should I, go back to substitute teaching? Should I, do this, continue doing real estate full time? well, what do I want to do? I haven't really figured out because there's that security of that check that
Yeah,
you know is going to come. But at the same time, there's this freedom that you're going to lose if you go back into a 9 to 5 job.
yeah,
So
and that's one of the things I'm actually going through right now. During the winters, it gets pretty slow, uh, and that's why a lot of people leave the PMs towards the winter stuff. And as they're coming out of the winter into to the spring, it is the ideal time to actually start getting your coils cleaned and all this stuff. But going back, uh, so a winter for me, I mean, if I had 5 or 6 calls, I think that's a lot. I'm still not a big company. I'm still not out there pretty known to have that type of work. So I'm actually doing some consulting right now for an apartment complex, and it's 8 to 5. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, man, I need to get out of here. Like things are starting to ramp up again. Thank God. But it's just like now I'm like, okay, so nobody's coming to help you out. Once you're out on your own, it's just like either you work for it because I mean you have to come up and find the way to get the money started flowing and stuff like that because nobody's really gonna come bail you out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
hard letting go of that security. Now that I got used to having this little paycheck over here, I'm like, oh, do I really want to let go? But it's just like if you don't let go, you're always gonna be at the same place. You're never gonna evolve into finding work and stuff like that. And push
You know what?
yourself.
Dude? I'm gonna share something that I shared this morning on social media, and if it helps somebody, help somebody. If it doesn't. But you said something just now, and I read this morning. I'm actually looking for it. It was a picture of a man changed to another man, probably himself. It says you cannot become what you want to become, or you cannot become what you want to because you are too attached to what you have been.
Exactly.
And for me, I, I'm too attached to having been a teacher. I'm
Right.
too attached to having been on that secure paycheck. And, I'm trying to grow and I'm trying to get rid of this mentality. And it's something I've been struggling with for the last 4 or 5 months. November and December were kind of crappy for me. They were super slow, like, for yourself. Uh, Broke down and whatnot. And I've been on this journey. And you know what? And I think everything happens for a reason. In fact, in the classes that I took today, they put us into breakout rooms. And one of the ladies, I don't think she cried or anything like that, but she was very like emotional. I was like, man,
Right.
I've been doing this for 2 years, and she's an older lady, and she's not seeing success. Again, I believe that everything happens for a reason, and I think I was meant to be in that group with her this morning because I told her that I was in that same mindset, and I have been in the same mindset for the last 3 or 4 months since November. And I don't know if I've told you, but I've told people I run into. I think everything happens for a reason. I think everything's supposed to. Everything unfolds the way it's supposed to unfold. When I had my little, you know, breakthrough in November, I ran into a good friend of mine. His name is Mauricio Saldana, with Fox Real Estate. Shout out to him. And I don't know if he's ever played football or not, but I'm pretty sure he has. He's got the body for it. But he goes, didn't you play football and didn't football teach you adversity? For long words, for lack of more words, because he said more than that. Didn't football teach you how to face adversity? And I was like, dude, blew my mind because that's the truth, man. Like you're in football and in sports, you're gonna have your ups, you're gonna have your downs, you're gonna have your wins, you're gonna have your losses. You have your seasons of high, profit. You have your seasons of low profit. And I think that everything happens for a reason. I ran into my friend that day, and I've been on this journey since then. That everything happens for a reason. Everything's supposed to unfold the way it's supposed to unfold. And today, when I ran into this lady here, I just kind of brushed that on her. Like, hey, look, it's gonna be okay. Just keep pushing. You got this. Everything is supposed to unfold the way that it's going to unfold. And she also said that she used to be a 9 to 5 person as well. And so she's made that change. But again, going back to this quote, you cannot become what you want to because you are too attached to what you have been. You got to let that go. My wife said it too. You gotta let go. You gotta get uncomfortable to get comfortable. You know what I mean?
Right. And that it does take a lot. And it's like what's his name? The Family Feud guy, man, Steve Harvey. it's like I heard the same thing from him one time about 2 years ago. He's like, man, if you never jump off that cliff, you're never gonna find out, what lies ahead. You got to take that leap of faith, and it is very hard. It is very hard, especially, and that's when you're growing. When you start feeling like you're closing in, and you got no other options, and it's like, I mean, I bet you it was. I know it was tough for those months that you mentioned because they're the same ones exact for me. The slow season starts coming up. Ever since November, well, people start, Thanksgiving, and then they start saving for Christmas and stuff. So they won't do major repairs or stuff like that. They'll just whatever, put a Band-Aid on for now. I'll deal with it later. Yeah. And it's understandable. I mean, people want to buy their loved ones gifts and stuff like that. I don't blame them. I do the same thing. But it starts slowing down, and then you start panicking. It's like, what are you going to do? What am I going to do? And then you start at, what am I failing? And it's not your failing. It's just that you're going through this little hardship time, but it's not the end of the world. You just got to push forward, develop new income streams, find new customers, advertise more, do something. There's always someone that needing a service, and you just got to find them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's growth, bro. So I can't remember the exact verbiage for this or the exact words, but it's you're gonna have your ups and your downs, but the overall trend is going to be up. Right. And so when you take that dip in that overall trend of coming up, it's you growing. It's you. Mm-hmm. It's cocooning, breaking out of your cocoon, if you will.
Yeah, it's like when you hit the bottom of the well. I mean, there's no way out but up.
Yeah, exactly. So it's transformation, it's growth, and it's all good. So don't see it as a bad way. But that little man. So that in football, back at UT, Coach Eddie Wiley, shout out to him. I don't know if it was Coach Wiley or Coach Mann, but there's always like little man they always talked about here on the side. Hey, don't go work out. Hey, go work out. So beat the little man. Beat the little man. Beat the man telling you, hey, it's okay to go back to teaching. Hey, it's okay to go back to 9-to-5 job. So I'm struggling every day to tell myself, don't do that. Don't do that, bro. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I have an interview lined up here in the near future to go back to teaching.
Oh, congratulations, man!
But I really don't want to. But I have the interview. I'm gonna see what God. My path is gonna tell me. My journey is gonna tell me where I need to be, where I gotta go. But it's there in case I need it. So
and that's one of the good things is we have you with your teaching and me with my maintenance job. Those are two jobs if anything ever goes south, God forbid, we have something to fall back on. We're not just like, oh, that's it. Like, let's say if you weren't doing the real estate and you said, or you quit your job, you didn't want to be a teacher no more. Now what? Now you got to relearn a whole new craft or something. You know what I'm saying? But you came into real estate while you were teaching and stuff, and then started going great. You decided to go on your own, and then you're here now.
Live and learn, baby. Live and learn.
Yeah, live and learn. Exactly.
What happens? I'm not gonna knock it off 100% just yet. If it turns out to be a good gig, why not?
Yeah, for sure. I can always and think of all the not necessarily just because it's a gig or whatever, but all the children that you'll be able to impact as well. To mentor and let them know. That's one of the things I wish I could talk to the kids, because I know. Just open their minds and let them know there's more stuff out there than just the valley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I wish, you talk about that, man. As a student, I wish there would have been more doors open or more opportunities to have been told, hey, there's more than just what you see. And what I mean by that is the only thing I really saw was engineering, was teaching, and football. Right. Which was nothing wrong with it, but I wish somebody said, hey, you can be a real estate agent. Or I wish somebody said you could have been a doctor. Or, the attorney was there. I could have been an attorney. I could have been a lawyer, but I never liked reading. But, I wish I wish more career fairs would have been done. Because aside from what I saw in front of me, like teaching and maybe the engineering route, at one point I wanted to go be a mechanic, like an actual just go work on cars, because I was really good at taking things apart.
Right.
maybe not necessarily know why things didn't work, but I was really good at taking things apart. I can take something apart and put it right back together,
Right.
which is what I do most of the time. Like you know me with my truck. You know, I did all my stuff with my truck for the most part. I took the intercooler off. I put I put a $1,400 intercooler aftermarket, right? And I screwed it up, bro. I kid you not, I screwed it up because I was putting the tornillito in. It was el tal intercooler. At the bottom, there was a drainer, to drain the condensation.
Oh, you cross-threaded?
Yeah, I messed up the thread, bro. So I was like, ugh. So my MacGyvered it and left it. You know, however, it's still to this day I still have it, right?
Hey, whatever works, right?
But it was because the material was very. I guess the material was really good, but it was aluminum, and so it lost the thread real bad. But anyways, I could always take something apart and put it back together. Right. So I always wanted to kind of be a mechanic and maybe own my own mechanic shop, but nobody said, "Hey, go do that." Somebody said, "Hey, go get your degree and call it a day." And I wish more people would have been more open to, you know, because me as a teacher now, dude, especially after I became a real estate agent, I realized not everybody was gonna go to college,
right?
You know, and not everybody was meant for college. And I'll tell you what, man, and that's fine and dandy and great. I had students making $200 in the day that I was just talking to them. Right. You know what I mean? So they're making $200 in just the 5-minute conversation that I had. And I was like, coach, I made $200 freaking selling T-shirts online.
Right.
You know, so like when I realized that and I became a real estate agent, I knew that the college wasn't necessarily meant for everybody. As much as we push college, it's not really meant for everybody, and that's fine. It's okay. That's. But what I'm trying to say is, I wish somebody would have said that to me. You know, not because
more exposure.
Yeah, not because I wanted to be a math teacher, but because I wanted more exposure. Like you just said, like I wish somebody would have said, "Hey, there's a real estate agent. You can go be a broker. You can go be an oncologist. You can go do this, that." But
you know what's very scary is, are you familiar with Mike Rowe, by any chance? Dirty Job guy, Dirty Jobs on Discovery Channel a long time ago. No, but anyways, if you have time looking him up, he did that show on Discovery Channel for a while. I think it was Discovery Channel, and he would go to all these jobs, and there were the jobs people didn't want to do, like sewer cleaning and dishwashing. There's so many things out there, disgusting jobs that have to be done, and people make a lot of good money off of those jobs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So and a lot of them don't even have college degrees or nothing like that. They just roll with the punches and learn a business and bring it up. You know, they would say a lot of businesses at first would fail because they would make a dumb decision or something like that. They thought it was a good decision, but it turned out being a bad one, and they just rolled the punches and learned. You know what I'm saying? But he started looking into all this stuff and noticed that there is a big skills gap that was developing between the young generation and the people retiring from these jobs. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody wanted to, because they were pushing, like, if you don't go to college, you're not nobody. You know, so it was like college. And then the trades kind of just started slipping off to one side. And there's a lot of money to be made on the trades. If you know what you're doing and you got a good heart and you put the people first, you can make a lot of good money off of.
I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you 2 stories, man. When growing at my parents' house, obviously growing up in my parents' house, so we had the septic tank. You talk about jobs that nobody wants to do. So my dad didn't want to pay for shit, you know. We we had to figure out how to take care of that shit. Literally, man. Literally. One time we had this backup situation there at the house, and the septic tank wasn't flowing to the septic tank. We had a pipe, pretty much. Long story short, we broke the tanks, the septic tanks, because the tapas. I guess he put the tractor through it, so we thought that was the issue. Wasn't the issue. What had happened was, over here close to the house, la pipa, the sewage line that goes to the septic tanks. Well, we had, again, habíamos corrido un tractor over, right? Se vendió. We realized that was the issue much later, after we figured out, we dug up the septic tank.
I bet you got some real good green grass around that area.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. Tomatoes were growing out. I was like, fuck. but on the top and the things, we ended up figuring out what was going on, man. But long story short, man, I haven't been inside a septic tank, but I've been in the septic tank. If you know what I mean. It's this, so we had to take care of that shit literally. A second time, man, as a homeowner, you talk about learning how to maintain your house and taking care of it. My neighbor can attest to this. My very first experience with the sewage around here was started to back up, man. Water started to pop up through the toilets and through the showers. And man, why is the water coming back up? So había tapado allá en la drain, main drain to go to the sewers. And we're actually trying to figure out, because I feel like my neighbor recently said something that he was having another issue as well. It might be a more of an issue with the actual sewage from Mission versus our own particular sewage line. Anyway, that's besides the story. It gets clogged up, man. I'm over here trying to figure out how to get it done. Well, using my prior experience knowledge, I'm over here metiendo la manguera para adentro con la snake and hitting it. Right? And so my neighbor comes out, man, and I don't have it, but it's basically a balloon. He comes out with a balloon that kind of looks like
put it on the hose.
Yeah, and it's supposed to expand and lifesaver, bro.
Oh, for sure.
But and I was already dirty with it. I was putting my hand into the drain, but my arm only goes up so far, dude. And so my neighbor had lent me his little balloon, and he goes, "Well, your arms are going in, man." Shout out to him, Leo, my neighbor. If he watches this later, man, he'll probably laugh. But embarrassed as I was, he's the one that put his hand, dude, in my shit, if you will. And I was like, man, this guy. Oh, shit. I mean, thank for him, man. I mean, if I would have known how to handle that, I would have done it a bit better. But like I said, I couldn't put the balloon any deeper because the pipe is only 4 inches,
Right.
And it wouldn't go past. So he does me the favor, gracias a él, un ángel, como quien dice, puts his hand in there, man, fucking makes the balloon go where it's gotta go and unclogs it, man. It was badass. So I put to go and buy one of those balloons, and now I make sure that I try my very best before I call him. And we actually about a month ago, it happened a month and a half ago. Se había tapado otra vez, man. But there's something going on in our lines here because the whole subdivision, it looks like they were
they're tearing up the streets, right? They're putting new streets and stuff like that by your colonia.
To be honest with you, I understood they were working on our sewage systems around here, but I'm not 100% sure what they're doing.
Yeah, I have a customer, not on your street, but the one closer to, what is it, Mayberry? The next following street.
Glasscock?
Okay, yeah, it was Glasscock.
Glasscock, Stewart, Brian, and then Mayberry.
Okay, yeah, no, it was Glasscock. Yeah, it was Glasscock. It's not the entrance going into your colonia, but the la que está más adelante.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a customer there that I do. She's a customer herself, but she manages properties for one of her cousins that lives in Mexico. So she's like, I was the one doing the maintenance and stuff for her cousin. So I would go to her house and pick up checks and stuff, and I noticed that they were tearing up all the streets and stuff.
Yeah,
and everything was torn up. So.
To be honest with you, no sé qué. I understand they were doing some sewage stuff, trying to revamp our sewage and whatnot, but I'm not sure. Isaac, I want to take us back a little bit. If you're okay with it, take us back. I got a question for you. Talk about this next segment: climate change, trends in the HVAC. I know you briefly talked about it. Some changes that are coming to the HVAC industry. Talking about something with the new Freon. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Well, this started up back in 2023, actually. And the new Freon is R454B refrigerant, and this refrigerant is replacing the 410A existing Freon. So pretty much what's going to happen is pretty much kind of what happened with R22 and 410A, which was the new Puron that was supposed to be better for the environment and stuff like that. So it turns out the government said no more. It's not as good as they thought it was, and they came up with this new Freon. Well, they didn't come up with it, but they found that this Freon has destroys the environment a lot less. So this is something new that's going to start coming out. I believe it started in 2023. It's still not completely phased out. So now 410A is not being made anymore. It's just whatever we recover, we send back to the parts house, and then they ship it off to get recycled and be reused. So whatever's in circulation is just what's left of the 410A. So that's one of the reasons that, man, I want to say during COVID, I used to buy 410A. Man, I want to say like $100. It used to be $80 actually. Back in 2019 or 17 or so, it was like $89 for a tank, and then all of a sudden 120, and then like it got up to this past summer or during the COVID, when COVID was pretty hard, it went up to $400, $800 or $500 or something like that. So now we had to up our prices in order to to make the business run. And a lot of people, man, it was a lot of people had a hard time, because it was $80 a pound, and when it used to be 45 or something like that back in the day.
So what's gonna happen with, like, for example, my AC system? Like,
everything, there's still gonna be parts and everything for your system and stuff. They haven't really specified what's really gonna happen. I know people are concerned, and because they make before they set these rules in stone, they give the people a time frame to submit your opinions of what you think, stuff like that. Because this new refrigerant, the problem that people are seeing, or technicians and stuff like that, is that, yeah, it's great for the environment, but it's a highly flammable refrigerant. So now we're being told that we can't use, if it's not brushless, if it's que traen brochas, los que le dicen a los power tools todavía, and they create a spark. So you can't use those around that system. We can no longer weld the copper lines. So now we're going to a crimp system. And if you're a small company and stuff like that, then that's going to kind of have a big impact, because now you got to buy a $2,000 press and a $2,000 set of dies. You know what I'm saying? To crimp. And then if you're not careful, or you're not a clean worker, and you deburr the copper and you don't do it right, then you got a leak. So it's going to lead to more leaks. And I don't know how I would feel about a highly flammable gas.
Yeah, but highly flammable liquid.
Yeah, so that's one of the big issues people are still trying to fight in the laws and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna pass. It's coming, like it already did. It's coming. So for my understanding, speaking with my sensei, con les digo, he says when the R22 to 410A conversion happened, it happened at the same time everywhere, but it didn't really affect the valley till about 2 to 3 years later, or after the fact. You know what I'm saying? So we still got a good buffer time. I think the regulations said by 2025 is when they're pretty much changing over completely to that new Freon. And like I said, there'll still be some, as long as techs recover the refrigerant, send it off to get recycled, there'll be plenty of 410A to go around still. But if people start venting off to the atmosphere and stuff like that, then that's when we're gonna have a problem. But yeah, man, it should be good. Hopefully it's not as bad as they say. Like I said, this is all still hearsay, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
it's in the works. It's in the works.
So
let's talk a little bit about your a little bit more about you and your business. What kind of technology do you use? I know the last time we did an inspection there, one of the houses that I had you go out there. You got some pretty cool technology, man. To measure the what's it called, temperature,
the airflow, the velocity, that stuff.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about that, and then we'll go ahead and start wrapping it up, and and maybe talk about. Before we wrap it up, I want to talk a little bit about segment number 5 here, HVAC hacks and homeowner tips. But let's talk a little bit about the technology, and then go ahead and talk to us a little bit about some homeowner hacks and homeowner tips.
Yeah, well, the technology, we use digital gauges. We no longer use the analogs. Analogs are fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I still carry my analog gauges with me just in case of a backup. Sometimes we're in such a rush or such a trying to go what's next with the next customer, going this, going that, and I forget to carry batteries, or that I didn't notice that my gauges are low on battery. So I still carry those around. But the digital gauges, what I love is it's such a beautiful instrument that you sync everything up, and you put in your readings, and on your return, your supply, everything syncs up, and now you don't have to. People are more comfortable with me giving them the diagnostics that I give them, and more believable, because now I can show you, or give you, well, not necessarily a printout, but I can show you on the app. So what I'm trying to say is, like, you don't necessarily have to take my word for it. You don't have to believe or trust, or if you have trust issues, like, sometimes I get new customers that don't really know you, so and then sometimes you're the third person at that house and you're telling them something totally different from what the other people tell them. But now I have something to back my my diagnostic up. You know what I'm saying? Because like como te dije ahí a ti with that one time, it seemed like it was undercharged and stuff. So we added a little more. It turned out not to be a lot thing, but now you got the printout, and now it says like everything is running cool, everything is great. So it's just something to back up your diagnostic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So which is, I think, is pretty awesome, because now there's more trust, and you don't have to take somebody's word for it and assume they're giving you the right information.
Yeah, and just to talk, piggyback off of that one house that we're talking about there. I mean, it was a little park model. It was hot as hell outside. Yeah. You open the door real quickly, whatever cold air. Right. So always take into consideration the temperature outside. I mean, if it's 114 degrees, don't expect to cool down from 114 to 80. And
right.
How long does it take you to cool down?
Well, like I said, going back to if you have a clean coil, if you don't have a clean coil, your duct work and all this stuff, everything plays an important part to how fast you can cool down a conditioned space. So if your coils are dirty or your filter's clogged, then that's going to take forever, because it's going to take forever to pass through that dirtiness and up into your, to your air handler to get cooled. So you're kind of choking your system in a way, because it's clogged up. So if you were to maintenance your AC at least once a year, get it clean, keep the coils clean, the filters clean, and you should have a pretty well-oiled machine, working pretty fast. But yeah, that technically, AC units are designed to give you about a 20 to 30 degree difference from the outside temperature to the inside cool temperature. They're not designed to, bring you down to 60 or whatever, which is, I mean, they can help, but if everything's right. But they are designed to only be 20 to 30 degrees difference from the outside, I'm sorry, to the inside of the house.
Difference from the outside. So if it's 100 degrees outside, don't expect to be 60 degrees in the inside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Unless you're like super insulated and you have, crazy, like if your ductwork is good, then yeah, you'll be fine.
So let's go ahead and move on to our last segment here. HVAC hacks and homeowner tips that you have for our listeners out there. You got 2 or 3 hacks, 2 or 3 homeowner tips that you got for people out there that are listening. With the hot summer coming up, what hacks do you recommend, or homeowner tips you recommend for all of us, aside from the basics of moving your air filter or cleaning it up?
Another main issue I see a lot is drain lines. Drain lines is a big issue. The water drain lines. If you have it up in the attic and you're pretty comfortable with being up in your attic, then go ahead and go up there, pour some Clorox down the drain line. Because there's some slime. It's actually algae. It's a sort of white algae that develops in there. And then it's just like your arteries, dude. It just keeps closing the.
I think that's no problem. I'm gonna start drinking some Clorox, man.
That's what happens when you drink Coke Zero.
Sounds like Trump.
No, but yeah. That's the only
Let's say that, bro. Just inject yourself some Clorox, please.
Yeah, just drink Clorox. Your arteries will be fine.
No, but you know what? I've done that, bro. Like, I've gone into the attic before in the old system when I had issues left and right. That's a very good homeowner's tip, man. Just clean the drain lines. Let me ask you a question. Now that we're talking about drain lines, how many drain lines does a home have or should have?
2. So it's your primary and your secondary.
Okay.
Sometimes, well, not necessarily. There's 2 but you can get away with only having one. But on the secondary, they usually put a flow switch. It's a flow switch. So anytime it has a little floater inside, anytime there's water in there, the floater goes up and it cuts your outside machine off to stop it from cooling and creating condensation and avoiding all this water dripping into the drain pan or overflowing, the drain pan and causing you roof damage. Those are real good things to have. They should. I mean, we install them in our attic installs. In the closet, sometimes not really much, but I've seen people install them in closets as well. But yeah, one of those things. It's great. It's just designed as a safety feature, to help with the water and stuff coming from.
Let me piggyback off of that question, and you can go ahead and continue with some more homeowner tips. Why is it that I see it in a lot of houses? Is this just a common practice, or is this the way it's supposed to be done? Why is it that I see a lot of drain lines in the shower?
Okay, so that was the rule back. I can't remember a specific date, man. I want to say early 2000s or somewhere around there. I'm not. It was past our time, man. We were kids, but yeah, it used to be to where the secondary had to go to the shower, and homeowners were supposed to know when there's water coming out of there. Then call your AC guy. It's like, hey, your stuff, your primary is backed up.
But see, I see it a lot, and I still see it in new construction.
Okay, yeah. So, well, I mean, a lot of I mean, that's one of the reasons. So you're aware that you're about to have an issue or something with your primary line. But yeah, I haven't seen it as much anymore. What I've seen is that now they go and you drain into your sink, to your bathroom sink.
Oh, okay.
So one of the things there is that's funny. It happened to me in Westlaco, one of the houses. Like the guy was like, dude, I can't get this water. Nothing's working, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, you know what? Let's blow it out. And it was his primary, right? So I go to blow it out, and I'm like, man, I use a little CO2 cartridges, and man, it wasn't doing anything. So I'm like, So I bring my nitrogen tank up there, you know what? And I was like, crank that sucker up. Dude, it took about 125 pounds of pressure. And boom, all of a sudden it's just boom. And then I hear somebody scream. But there was a little kid in the restroom there. The problem was that the sink was clogged. So that thing was draining up, and then the sink clogged backed up, and it started going up into the attic pipe. So as soon as it got that pressure, man, they're sealing everything, bro. Everything was covered in slime. And
you know what? My house, my house has a secondary drain to the sink. But I'm just saying, like, I do see it a lot in a lot of showers. Yeah. The restrooms.
Yeah, and that was, I think it was code because they wanted you to know that, hey, it's dripping. Now we got to get somebody out here to service it.
Yeah, got it. Makes sense. Yeah. All right, what are the homeowner tips you got for us, man?
Oh, I mean, there's really not much. Not really much, man. I mean, como te digo, just cleaning it outside is a lot of help. Washing the outside one is a lot of help. It's because everything else, there's some simple stuff out there, but it's kind of dealing, like you have to touch electrical stuff, and I know a lot of people aren't comfortable with stuff like that. But the main thing that a homeowner can do is wash the outside unit and keep your drain line. Add Clorox. They also sell on Amazon. They're called drain tablets. So they're little mini tablets about I don't know, it's like a normal pill, and you kind of just throw them in there, and they start dissolving with time. And they slowly clean out all the sludge and stuff and kill all that algae inside your drain line. But that's pretty much it for homeowners. Like I said, if you're gonna go with the high MERV filters, just those you're gonna have to change them out more constantly. En vez de los that look like spiderweb type feel, those you'll get your coil a lot more dirty, but they allow your system to run a lot more efficiently, if that makes sense. The ones you get that look like an accordion, those will clog. If you have a lot of dirt in your house within a week, that sucker will be clogged up, and you'll see it. If you hear whistling coming from your AC system, where your filter goes.
Yeah.
And if you notice, as soon as you pull that dirty filter off, you'll feel the, you know what I'm saying, where it starts breathing normally, and your vent won't whistle and stuff like that. It's whistling because it's sucking air and it's trying to lift your because it's so clogged, it's lifting your filter out and it's getting air through the sides and stuff. So that's why I really don't recommend
the accordion type ones.
The accordion type ones, yeah. Like I just like if you have a good PM program set up and you at least wash your coil once a year, you don't need a good accordion, you know, unless you have allergies and stuff like that. But even at that, there's more options out there like the iWave, the UV lights. There's UV lights that are just for your coil for the inside of the cabinet, so algae and mildew and stuff like that doesn't grow. That's a very big common thing as well. Once you go up there, there's so much humidity and heat that there's like sometimes people say it's mold. It's not mold. It's mildew. And you can wipe it right off. And with the PMs, that's what we do. We go in there and wipe everything off with disinfecting spray and make sure nothing, you know, keep it clean, you know, and
keep it clean, baby.
Yeah. So there's UV lights that you can put in there specifically for that. To prevent all the mildew and all those airborne bacteria from growing inside the cabinet. But just because it's inside the cabinet doesn't mean that your house is protected. So there's stuff that goes on, like the iWave goes on the duct system, and that sends negative and positive ions through the house, and it kills pet odors, fish, smoke. It's used for a lot of stuff, and it has a lot of benefits. It actually helped with the COVID and stuff like that too.
Kill germs and shit like that.
Yeah. So that's what I would recommend if you have allergies. It works great. I installed it on a couple, and they had bad allergies, man. Siempre andaban con un napkin, siempre que iba para allá. And installed it within a month or two. Man, it was just like night and day, dude. It helped them out a lot. So if you have a lot of allergies, call us. We'll go help you out.
Well, you know, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up now, but you know, Isaac, go ahead and let the people know real quickly, you know, what's the best way to get a hold of you? You know, you get your number out there, but let people know what's the best way to get a hold of you if they have any questions about, you know, the AC, you know, where do we reach out to and whatnot. Go ahead and give your information.
Okay, yeah. But I mean, my number is there, 956-599-1721. A text would be great because I'm always busy. Like, even though we're here with the apartments I'm in, I'm having meetings and doing all this stuff and helping out the guys with some of the issues. And it's very hard for me to get a hold of me through a call. But if you text me, I will get back to you as fast as I can. Social media, Facebook, Precision Air, or my handle is at RGV Airman. That's my handle. So just type that in, and you know. You can book stuff in there through our Facebook page.
Okay. That's cool.
And yeah, I'm actually working on a program that you're going to be able to go on. I'm working on a website as well. So I got all these things in the works as well. I know I haven't had a website for a while, but we're working on that. And now you're going to be able to see our availability, and you choose what time you want us to come out. You know, according to our schedule, what times we have available. So it's going to be much automated, you know, and it's better for the customer. And then you're going to get text, your technician so-and-so is 10 minutes out or whatever, you know, so you can like up-to-date, real-time, up-to-date
That's
stuff.
Cool, man. I like that. I always like that little feature.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. All right. So just to kind of summarize a little bit of what we talked about here, Isaac, and correct me if I'm wrong at any given time, you know, a couple of things that overall maintenance, you know, water down your outside system because that's going to help you out, you know, a little bit with maintenance or the efficiency of the unit every 3 or 4 months. Give it a quick rinse. No high pressure, just right.
Yeah.
The sprinklers. Make sure the sprinklers are not hitting the AC system on the outside. And if you're up for it, if you're willing to, call your technician to get you a 6-inch filter instead of that 1-inch filter. Those are all some good tips here. And you know, if you're up for it as well, go up there into the main attic and do the what's it called? The Clorox thing and whatnot. Now, we do have a comment here, just real quickly, and I don't know if you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about this. Good luck to Isaac on his run for office. So I don't know what happened there. I know you mentioned that real quickly as well the other day. conversation?
Well, see, that thing kind of put a pause on that. We had to put a pause on that.
Okay.
Some stuff came up, and I just feel like the help can be used elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, right now, I'm pretty sure the kids will benefit a lot more than me running for office here in the city.
Okay.
So, I am going to run in the future for sure. I do have a lot of plans to help this city, the city of Palmview, grow and develop into a better city than what it is right now. I know this people that we have right now are doing a great job. Now, some of the, let's say, I don't know how to say, bad people, I guess, are on their way out. I guess I don't know how to say it, but yeah, they're on the way out. The good people are taking over, and there are a lot of changes coming. There are a lot of changes coming to the great city of Palmview, and I'm super stoked about that. But yeah, I was kind of given an ultimatum, and at the end of the day,
you don't have to get too personal about it. You're good.
So
hey man, just hang back about 2 minutes real quick. Let me go ahead and put an end to this, and just hang back for about 2 minutes. Alrighty. Thank you everybody for watching. And if you guys have any questions for Isaac, you have his number right there, 956-599-1721. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, or you can send us a text, and we can put you guys in contact with Isaac. You have a good one, and stay safe.
Night.